quick update here for you guys. I know I owe you at this point. Lots of skipped stuff because I've just been thrashing and testing things. So now that things are going good, I'll do a quick update. What I did was I went to my buddy Mark's and I picked up a 05 6 liter LQ4, but oddly enough it had the short head bolts that a Gen 4 normally has. It has a 24X crank, which a Gen 3 normally has, and it had a bunch of characteristics from both, so it was a interesting motor, but it had the good rods and pistons, and that was what we called Freddy Krueger 2.0. So that's what's in here now. My aluminum 5.3 and my iron 5.3 are hanging out here for now. And what I did is I took off the freshly cleaned and valve jobbed 317s, had the springs and everything in them already, just put them on this iron pig, slammed everything pretty much together as it is with the 228 230 trick flow cam, and I had the 273 gears in the other day. I filled this thing up with oil and it was leaking like a pig, and I drove it over to the dyno and gave it a hit, and it immediately did about 560 or so to the tire. I could tell the converter was struggling with the long gears on low boost and second gear. The converter only grabbed at like high 5,000 area, so this converter was never set up for the larger motor and the larger turbo. So what I did was I put shorter gears in, which I wanted to do anyway. I got a set of 327s from my buddy, my neighbor. I wanted to do 327 anyway, so I threw 327s in and went right back to the dyno, and on low boost on the wastegate, lowest amount of boost I can run is about 11 pounds. On 11 pounds it made 616 to the tire. Pretty incredible. That's about what I would expect. That's where I would want to be. That's what this combo is, was built for, to make good power on low boost and even more when you turn it up. So what's interesting is on 11 pounds it still pushed the converter to about 5,200 before the converter coupled. And I think when I do this video I'll overlay the dyno chart and I'll show you what I mean. But basically you can see, like a converter car, you're gonna hit the throttle and the boost and RPMs are gonna come up, and then at some point it's gonna couple and draw a nice dyno chart, say 4,000 or 5,000 and up. When you start adding a ton of boost and the converter can't hold all the power, you get this straight line up and the converter never grabs and puts down the power. So you're blowing through the converter. What I did was I added like 3 pounds of boost, 4 pounds of boost, and it made 680, but it was only making like 10 horsepower per pound when you look at that, and the rest of it should be doing over 25 horsepower per pound. So if you look at the dyno chart, just a couple pounds more, it couldn't hold it. Couldn't hold the power. So they're gonna restall the converter, have me try something new, and then we'll see how that goes. I'm gonna try a 10-inch converter that's made to handle 1,000 horsepower. So we'll see how it holds, and I'll be turning it up. But I picked up like 75 horsepower with just a gear swap from not pushing on the converter so damn hard. So I'm curious to make a little bit more power and see how it does. I wanted to push for a little over 800 now with this combo. It should be fine for 800 tire. I mean, it sounds funny, but I'd like to make about 800. Get a little bit of safety equipment done. I want to, my transmission mount, I want to build a drive shaft safety loop integrated in case the drive shaft wants to come out at me. That's a safety thing for myself. I mounted a battery shutoff switch. Wow, you can see how dirty the fucking lens was when I did that. Yeah, filthy. Back there we go, sorry. Anyway, I got my battery shutoff switch, just have to wire it. It's mounted, but there's nothing going in and out of it. And then I would like to get a 5-point harness that I can weld to my cage, just so if I fucking roll this thing at 160 miles an hour, I don't come flying out of it with the lap belt on. So that's my small list, and then I want to get to the track with about 800 to the tire, and I want to put the taller springs in the front. Mine are fucking maxed out with this iron motor. It feels terrible, the front end. So I want to put the taller 14-inch 175-pound springs in the nose. I'll probably start on that next. When I put this iron 6.0 in, I had a oh yeah, again, these are the LS9 head gaskets I've reused. It's got to be 50 times now, so that's just funny. That's a stock truck intake and everything, of course. The on the iron block motors, well, you can see, I don't know if you can see down in there, but the oil level sending unit on the side on this iron motor was just fucking leaking. It was pouring out of the connector, and I pulled the connector out and it was pouring out even worse. So I swapped it out with the iron 5.3 oil level sending unit, put it in, no problem. My pan looks like it's leaking, not the converter input or output shaft or anything else, none of those seals. It's got a cork seal on the trans pan gasket, and it's leaking out of the whole thing, everywhere, completely around. Every single bolt is wet on the trans pan. So I'll probably dump the fluid in that and get that sorted. When I pulled the oil level sending unit thingamajigger out of there to change it, I dumped the oil and dumped the oil and filter, and it was pretty shitty looking already after like 1 or 2 dyno trips. And I put fresh oil in, and now it's nice and clean. So I think just the one flush got all of the dirt out of it on the first run. So a couple other things, and try another converter maybe by the weekend. He said he's going to try to get it to me by Friday. I'm pretty busy this weekend, but maybe I can smash it in there in an hour or two and take it over and try it again. So that's the update for now. Another funny thing is I think this motor has a shitty crank position sensor, probably from the fire or something. Sometimes I have to key the car like 4 or 5 times till it starts, but I'm sure that's not the computer because 3 other motors started beautifully. So that's just another thing to add to my list. Swap out the crank position sensor with another one of these and see if it starts any better. But that's the update for now. I'm very happy with how it's going, obviously after 6 months of bullshit going on. But front to back, I guess like a quick update. I've changed so much. So it has 327 gears in the back right now. Those are probably going to stay forever. It has a TH400 that I got off Craigslist, basically, that I thought was going to be junk. Turns out to be pretty fucking awesome. So that's a win. I have the Frankenstein trans in the other room. Want to get that sorted, maybe put a trans brake in it for this guy later down the road. It is a 2005 6.0, totally stock, didn't touch the ring gaps or anything. It has totally stock 317s that were still filled with dirt and filth. Brian Tooley 660 double springs, Trick Flow 228 230 cam, stock intake, Tony Reiner's hot side, 4-inch VS Racing intercooler, forced inductions, billet ETR HO 76mm turbo, 92 turbine, T4 125 AR, I think. And that's a 190 inside diameter 2-inch hot side, 4-inch downpipe, comes right out the nose here. And then 3-inch piping into the intercooler, 3-inch inlet outlet, 3-inch piping, double nozzle methanol kit because I have 2 small nozzles instead of 1 big one. No other reason why I would have 2 nozzles on here. And then a nice elbow here, stock throttle body. Everything else is good. The other interesting issue is I had to put the shorter push rods in this motor too. So that makes me think that this damn cam has like a different base circle even though they don't advertise it. Everywhere I looked says it uses a stock cam, but apparently that's not totally true because this takes shorter push rods to work. So that's one thing to watch out for. I gotta investigate that some more in my spare time. But if you get a Trick Flow cam or any cam really, what you want is, I posted in the other video a couple videos ago, you want that like half a turn of preload. What this fucking thing was getting was like a turn and a half of preload. You could see the valve going down. Basically, very simply, you could see the valve opening. If you hook up air to the spark plug hole and you tighten your rocker and air pisses out of your valves, obviously the push rod's too long. So that's it for now. I'm gonna do some messing around, and now when I go to the dyno, I will take my video camera, since it's not doom and gloom and useless anymore. And I'd like to get a video, if it's been pouring here almost every day, I'd like to get a video of me driving this around for you guys. I'll put on my helmet cam and go take it out for a blitz. But on wastegate, in second gear, if I hit it hard enough, I can knock these pros loose, these Mickey Thompson pros loose on the street, and just bump third, and it'll just do a retarded burnout on these. These tires are like chewing gum, and it'll just annihilate them. So it's pretty incredible right now. Lots of torque and power. Just got to tighten up the converter and do a little bit of other messing around, and I'm there. So that's the update for now. Let me know if you have any questions.